welcome to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Kate.
And I'm Isaiah.
Today we're going to talk to you about taxation on unhealthy foods. These have been proposed in the past, like taxation on sugary drinks and things like that. And
I'm so confused on what's going on right now.
I'm taking the lead for once.
Clearly.
International Women's Day was in March. And it was a callback to our previous episode. And yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But before we do, tell me what's the HAPS.
What is the HAPS? Oh, let's see. This is the last episode ever for this space. This is it. We're moving out. We're moving to other spaces. Gonna be interesting. Next episode we'll see how well it sounds.
Maybe we'll sit on opposite sides of each other. Maybe we'll really turn it around. Maybe I'll start introducing every episode. Who's to say?
No. that is the only gig I get, is to say hello.
You get to introduce the star.
Other than that, we are at the end of March, right? This comes out what day? I'm rambling now. 25th. See, you threw me off by doing the intro. This comes out on the 25th, the last Wednesday of March.
Yep. Going
into April. Our next episode comes out April Fool's Day.
International Trombone Day.
Oh my gosh. But March, I think we're probably out of winter. Knock on wood.
Yeah. I suspect one more storm.
We get our storm, St. Patrick's Day storm.
We get a St. Patrick's Day storm, and then we often get one around Easter, depending on when
Easter is. I thought St. Patrick's Day was the last one.
I hope you're right. I'm not going to bet against you, but I suspect one more after St. Patty's Day, because they are calling for weather next. Well,
weather? Normally they call for weather. I'm just saying that normally. If we're not calling for weather, I think we should be.
This podcast isn't going to go really well if I go on silent mode.
Well, you stole my intro, so this is what you get.
Okay. Well, I feel punished.
Well, nothing else going on with me. What's going on with you? I don't know how you intro me ever. I don't pay attention to words you say.
Weird. So what's going on with me? It is March 25th, which means I just had my gig, and we'll do probably a more fulsome rundown of that on April Fool's Day, because I'll be the April Fool as the comedian. So we'll do a more fulsome rundown of how the gig went then, but I'm going to assume it went great.
I'm going to assume I didn't show up.
No, you're going to be there. You have a ticket.
Yeah, I showed up, said hi to people, and as soon as you got on stage, I left.
I have a friend traveling from Moncton to come see the show. You can damn well go to Waste Today from Villageville. Oh wait, you might be out west side then, but you might have to cross a bridge.
Oh God.
No, I'm assuming it went great. So what else is coming up? We've got April 6th. I mentioned this last week. We have the 10-year anniversary of the Second Chance Band, and that's at the Branch 69 Legion. And then on Thursday, April 9th, we have a concert. The St. Mary's Band has a concert with Harborview High. And we're debuting a piece called Rebirth by a grade 12 composer.
Yes.
What a kid. Love him. He also wears the coolest, long plaid trench coat. I'm obsessed with this kid. Not in a weird way, just in a this kid is awesome.
It sounds like a nerd. Joking.
Get your football playing old age attitudes out of this podcast, Isaiah.
Okay.
This is an anti-bullying zone.
This isn't Pink Day. Although we wear pink on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
Yeah.
It's going nowhere fast. So let's get to the topic at hand.
Okay.
I'm doing everything today. So taxation on healthy foods. This is something that has been instituted, they call them sin taxes, on things like alcohol and cigarettes and all of these things that are known to be cause health issues.
Yeah.
And in our taxation model, our taxes pay for our health care. And so there is some logic to have additional taxes on these things that are known carcinogens and known
for sure.
health destroyers, so that can therefore be overturned into the provincial coffers and finance the whole situation.
Finance the thing that we're causing.
No, I mean, there's addictions at play. There's reasons that people do the things that they do. Now, this has been a hotly contested topic across the US and in Canada, both on whether like super sugary drinks or candy or things that have no health benefit whatsoever should be taxed in the same way.
They do that in New York, right? They tax,
I believe so. That's
a certain size pop or something, right?
Yeah, the like extra big.
Yeah, the big gulps or whatever. Yeah.
And so, what, Isaiah? At first blush, what do you think of that?
I mean, I said it off air, but every time I hear tax, I hear taxation without representation, and this has nothing to do with that. But in my mind, that's what I hear every time I hear tax.
Super relevant.
Very relevant. I don't know. I think it makes sense. I think the question lies in what do you tax versus what do you don't tax, as far as that. Like, do you go, a 2-liter bottle of pop you tax, but like a can of pop you don't tax? You tax pop across the board? Like, those are the questions that, and then like, do you,
and keep in mind these a lot, well, grocery items on their own aren't taxed, but like when you're buying these things individually, you're already paying tax, sales tax.
All right.
So do we make foods that are maybe not good for you but are affordable so expensive that people can't afford any food? Because sometimes we've had the conversation about healthy food being very, quote unquote, healthy food being very expensive in the grocery store, that people do gravitate toward the less healthy options.
And like right now you don't get taxed for things like milk or vegetables, fruit and vegetables. Like,
groceries aren't taxed on
that. Stuff's not taxed, but pre-produced stuff is. So like Lunchables and like the pre-made stuff, all that stuff's all taxed. Yeah. You pay taxes on,
but that's just sales tax though, right? That has nothing to do with it being a sin tax.
Yeah, but that's kind of the same idea, right? Is well, sort of. Let me finish my thought.
Then
pre-produced foods are taxed, whereas foods you have to like mix and stuff are not taxed. So in a sense, that's kind of part of the same idea as those are taxed. The less healthy thing for you is taxed versus the more healthy thing for you.
Are you sure on that? Okay, because like
very sure.
2-liter bottle of pop is not taxed.
Right. So there's certain.
I don't think that's across the board.
No, but like
usually individual servings,
like a Michelina's thing, or
that's not taxed.
It is.
You sure?
Yes.
In the grocery store.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if you go to a different store, they might not tax you, but in the grocery store, they're taxed. Yeah. There's but like buying.
I thought that had more to do with whether it was an individual serving, because then you're buying like which would make sense for Michelina's or a Lunchable, but less to do with it being prepackaged.
It's yes. So it has like a box of pre-made burgers is not taxed.
Right.
That's produced. So that's kind of the thing. But yes,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. But that we do tax. We do kind of tax the less healthy option a lot of times, but
only if it's individually packaged.
Right.
So that's a different conversation. That's a sales tax versus a.
But it kind of goes in line. Like it's what I'm saying is that you're already being taxed on certain things that are less healthy. So why aren't we taxing the other pieces?
I guess my brain isn't computing. I get what you're saying, Isaiah, and I get that some things are being taxed anyway that are in that less healthy category, but that's not why they're being taxed.
No.
They're being taxed because they're an individual serving and they're not considered a grocery. They're being taxed because it feels like you're going out and buying lunch as opposed to buying some groceries to make several lunches. And groceries, by and large, are not supposed to be taxed because that's the way our system works. And that, I guess what I'm saying, we're talking additional taxes on super unhealthy foods.
Yes.
And so in some ways, in some cases, on those individually packaged things, you'll end up being taxed more than once.
Yes.
I think is the
Will
point
you?
you're trying to make.
Yes. So I guess the question is, do we just do a flat tax across the board and take away that other individual tax, or do you double tax people?
Well, because this is, I mean, the design of these sin taxes is to discourage use, and when you look at what's happened with alcohol and smoking, I don't think the taxation is discouraging much.
No.
And so if it's meant to discourage usage and discourage consumption, I don't know that it's working.
I don't think that it, at the end of the day, if someone's going to do it, someone's going to do it. I don't think taxing it's going to change. I think changing people's attitudes toward those things, that's what's changed. Like, people don't, well, I guess that's coming back around, but people don't smoke as much as they used to.
That's true.
Although it is coming back around, people are smoking a lot more.
Are they?
Yeah.
Where?
So vapes have become like the target thing of people don't like vaping, and it's discouraged vaping, and so the numbers, people are turning back into smokers.
The numbers are still indicating that vaping is lower big trend.
Yeah. In general, overall, like if you look at over the decades, it's down a lot. But I think if you looked in the last probably 5 years, I think the trend for vaping's coming down, but the trend of people doing actual smoking is going up. A little blip.
Have you seen those numbers happen? I haven't seen that.
Negligible numbers. Okay. Like it's not like it's, but it's like people that used to vape are going back to smoking.
But they had already been smokers. Yeah. Okay, that's different.
But I don't think that's to say that I don't think taxation is causing that swing.
No, and cigarettes are $22 a pack or something right now, right?
Something
like
crazy.
Something ridiculous. And you often see people who definitely, this is a bit of a judgment, but people I know who I've known in my life who definitely struggle to afford groceries. I've seen them buy packs of cigarettes. Always have packs smoke.
Yeah.
Because,
it's addiction.
It's an addiction and can't help it.
Yeah. No, that's part of the other problem. I think just it kind of goes back to the topic of last week. Awareness, right, is a big thing, and I think that's really what drove down smoking in the end is just the awareness that it's bad for you, and the more
yes and no. I mean, this is a different. We could go down a rabbit hole, but the awareness that smoking was bad for you became abundantly clear in the early 60s that it was cancer causing, and it took another 60 years. 40 years for people to really stop smoking en masse.
Yeah, I mean, the awareness, sure. I think the packaging, we talk about packaging, I guess we haven't touched on it yet, but packaging, like making it aware on the packaging. Although at one point it was like collecting cards.
Yeah. And then what do you put on the package of like sour cherry blasters or something? Like just a picture of me like laying in a hospital bed or something. I've got the beatus.
Just a pack of Sour Patch Kids on your chest.
Nobody wants this.
But I taxation as like a stop people from doing the thing, I don't think works well.
If it's a direct path to healthcare, then you have to trust what you're the fact that our liquor sales are provincially not only regulated but handled.
Yeah,
our province makes a pile of money on booze.
Sure,
as do others. And there's not even a competitive market for that. Does that mean they take over grocery, at least unhealthy grocery, in the same way? With government-run snack bars?
Yes, please. Government-run grocery stores that just provide the essentials at a reasonable rate.
I don't know. I lived in a province where there was a combination of public and private liquor sales in BC, and I can tell you it wasn't the government. Oh yeah, the government stores were cheaper, but they had more terrible hours.
Yeah, I mean, but if you had government run grocery stores at a reasonable selling,
I don't want the government to run anything else.
I do.
I do not.
But if you're gonna, but I guess my argument for taxing would be that if you're gonna tax it and say it's because it affects healthcare, that tax should go directly to healthcare.
Yes, I 100% agree with that, and I don't think that is what is currently happening.
No, it just goes into a pot and then it gets divvied up wherever,
coffers,
right?
Much like I think municipal taxes should go back into the cities, but
right, that's a whole other
kettle of fish.
That's a whole other podcast we could do.
No, not for this.
But I do think that the big thing is if we're saying we're taxing whatever because it affects healthcare, it bogs down the healthcare system. I think that there should be a 1-to-1 line of that tax goes to that thing.
Imagine if it went to that person. Like
this goes into, this is your pocket for your health care.
I'm investing in my future. Give me cheesecake.
People would be so unhealthy. I just, sorry, you can tax me like 100% on that. I need to know that I'll be okay when I have to go to the hospital later.
Yeah. With your blood pressure medication, here are 3 bags of chips.
Perfect. But I do think that if we turn around and we're like, we're taxing all sugary pops because we've decided it's a way on our healthcare system, that tax should go to the healthcare system.
What an impossible thing to track.
No, I know, right?
The administration of something like that would be...
The administration would be insane. I mean, it's not...
have to pay way more people to do the jobs.
It would be the tax code would be different, right? It'd be like, instead of like HST, it would be like
fat tax.
SHT, sugar tax, ST, sugar tax. I don't know why it took me so long to get there.
Oh my God. I don't know. I think there's some credence to some of it. I think it gets down to weird debates. It's the same thing when you talk about addiction in general, like when it comes to food versus an alcohol or a drug or whatever, is you have to eat to live.
Yes.
You need food to survive. And if you put additional taxes on some foods that are quote unquote affordable to people already, and not lower the prices of those things that they should be.
Well, that's the opposite. That's the other side of it, right? If you are going to go ahead and you're going to tax those things that are easier, better packaged for people to eat.
Yeah.
And you're asking them to make a lifestyle change over to the healthier side of things, and those fruits and vegetables and all that stuff, you also have to make the other side more affordable. You can't just say, oh, we're seeing a big gain in this, so let's start putting up our prices on that, right?
Right, because then people who were able to afford, those, cheap bags of chips and cheap pop, not that anything's cheap anymore, but, and, a carton of a can of Alphagetti or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're eating something, and then they can no longer afford that, and then they're eating nothing. Like, that is definitely worse than not eating at all,
right?
For people, when we're in the city with the highest child poverty rate in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
So do I think people by and large should be eating healthier? Yeah, sure. Do I think there should be more education on how to do so? Absolutely. Do I think taxing unhealthy foods and who gets to be the arbiter of what those things are is necessarily the right thing to do? I think in some cases, maybe. In other cases, definitely not. Yeah. Like, you don't want to make things worse for people. In a completely other context, I heard our friend who had and by our friend, I mean your friend, who had previously been on the podcast. She's a coach, purple hair.
Courtney.
Amazing. I follow her on Instagram, and she made this really valid point in terms of what you eat, diet. And she said the time, and I think she probably said this on the podcast too, but when she had success, it's when she added things to her diet versus took things away.
Yeah.
So what she did is she's like, okay, I need to have a protein source at every meal, and I need to eat a vegetable at every meal. She didn't say I'm never going to have pizza.
Right.
And so she did those things. So if you apply that to the world of taxation for unhealthy things, maybe it's you find a way to lower the prices of those healthy foods.
Yeah.
As opposed to increasing the prices of unhealthy foods. And maybe it's part and parcel. Maybe that's the where that trade-off is you, I mean, obviously groceries already don't have tax, but if there's some sort of subsidy that you can grow out of taxing your unhealthy foods to the hilt and
subsidize the cost on the other side.
On the other side. I mean, it gets to be, I recognize that there are problems in implementation when you're
Listen,
like, oh,
we're
good
not-
idea in theory, dumb jerk.
We're not the ones that have to come up with how it works. We're just the ones that come up with
No, but I'm
the way it's worked.
I'm thoughtful in how I
am not.
things.
I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do, and you're gonna figure it out. I don't know.
All right, Dad. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's such an interesting topic. Like in theory, like at first blush, I think, yeah, absolutely, tax it. Yeah, bring on the sin taxes. That's exactly what we should do. Money goes from here to here, but I think it is like everything, a very nuanced issue with different problems here and there. Like,
yeah,
even if you're drinking a big tub of sugary pop, well, it's better than not drinking anything.
Yes.
Like if you're thirsty and for whatever reason you don't have water access and you can get a big gulp for 99 cents and you can afford 99 cents, well, that hydration is better than no hydration.
Yeah, I don't.
Still very bad.
It's very bad. I think that like I said, in New York they do like the big gulp thing where it's like over a certain size is taxed, which I think I can agree with. Like
that's only because it was so hotly contested by retailers, right?
Yeah.
That's them trying to keep their votes.
Yes,
or not necessarily the right thing to do.
But I think that's a good start to the way to do it is to like look at size, and we kind of do that. Like we talk about individual portioning, right?
And
is tax, right?
I think you made a very valid point earlier. Certainly not the one about grocery tax, but just joking. But about like how those reference photos and just the advisory nature of things is like, yeah, now you have to put on in your little white box on the back, like how much fat, how much sugar, what a serving is.
Maybe a picture of a glass and how much sugar is actually in a glass of serving.
Well, maybe pretty packaging needs to go away, like they have on cigarettes.
Yeah,
like who is not attracted to the big bright colors of like Swedish berries or?
That's true.
And there's nobody should eat candy like that. There's no redeeming qualities on it.
Except it tastes delicious.
So good. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely addicted to it, but there's no redeeming qualities to that as a food group.
Yeah.
At least with chips, you can say, well, it's
got fiber.
It's got fiber. But there's zero redeeming qualities to, chewy candy.
That's true.
Other than deliciousness. Good cough. But I don't know. So maybe those all have to become white package things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know the answer.
But I don't know. Does that like no name brand is a whole thing like that, right? That's the whole deal. It's just a yellow package with a name on it. Yeah. Right. So I don't know if getting rid of some of the packaging, maybe. Sure. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many different ways. I just think the bigger question is, where do we draw the line at people's responsibility for themselves versus us trying to take care of people?
Honestly, when we live in a place with government run healthcare and government funded healthcare, there is more argument to be involved in what people
That's
are
true.
consuming. And it's like I use this in the debate on motorcycle helmets. Because people are like, I should have free will, and if I want to take my own life into my hand, I should be able to ride my motorcycle without a helmet on. Like, cool, go to Maine.
New Hampshire, actually.
Maine also.
Oh, Maine does that too?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, like I said, don't cry. I'm just joking.
Whatever.
In New Brunswick, we have a publicly funded healthcare system. So we're paying for the ambulance attendant to show up. We're paying for you to go to the hospital. You are not, you or your family does not have to pay for any of this stuff as you take a risk, like an unnecessary risk of not putting a helmet on. So yeah, we should be able to enforce those laws for your safety, but also the safety of everybody else who has to respond to your stupidity. But in Maine, where that is not the case, have at her.
Do we not pay for ambulance anymore?
You pay a negligible fee. You don't pay what it costs.
Oh no, but you pay
like $150 or something.
Yeah. I was like, I thought we paid for. They got rid of it. They brought it back. I don't.
Yeah, and
it's been flip floppy all the time.
Well, it used to be like $400 or $500. It was like around $400, and then they took it away entirely. But then it started to be used a bit as a taxi service, a free taxi service.
I just need to go to the hospital,
right? For a regular appointment, and then so they put like a fee on it that is high enough that you're not going to use it as a taxi, but low enough that it's affordable for most people.
Gotcha. I don't know. I don't go to the hospital. I just wait till 2:00 in the morning and wake my wife up to make her take me. But yeah, no. Why don't we wrap this up? Final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
No. You?
I think it's I think that's like a multifaceted approach kind of deal, right? If you're gonna tax people on like pre-produced stuff and super sugary stuff, maybe we should make sure the taxes are going to the proper spot for it, or maybe it's made more about awareness, and like there's multiple things I think you have to do and not just one piece of the puzzle and say that's going to fix it, right? So that's kind of my thought. But where can people find you on the internet?
You can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large. And where can people find you?
I'm at Maritime Brews on all of the social medias. Of course, we still have the Buy Me a Coffee going on to help us with our new space and our upgrades and stuff, which is coming after this episode. Next episode, we will be in our temporary new space while we work on making the true new space. But it'll be all new, all different. So if you are listening on the podcast, I mean, you can like, share, subscribe over there, or you can hop on over to YouTube and see this space for the final time.
And my fresh hair.
Then Caitlin's fresh hair.
Yeah.
This space for the final time, and of course next week we will be in our brand new space. Can't wait.
I'm excited.
But until next week, bye.